Morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, October 17th, 2024. We're here for a work session. If you could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. And Councilman Rothwell, would you mind leading us?
Thank you, Supervisor. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a couple announcements to make. We mentioned them last night, some of them at the town board meeting, but we'll go over them again today. Saturday, October 19th, the first annual Foodie Fest from 12 to 7 at Tanger Outlets up on Route 58 in Riverhead. Halloween Fest on Main Street, Riverhead, that will be Saturday. And at 2 p.m. then we have the coffin races on Main Street. From 3 to 5 p.m. it's trick-or-treating up and down Main Street. And at 6 o'clock the parade starts. We have the 5K Run for Ridley race with New York Marine Rescue Center. That's from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. McDermott Avenue parking lot, 31 McDermott Avenue, and that's Saturday also. And then Sunday, October 20th, we have Racetrack, Not Street, Fall Classic, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Grumman Memorial Park. Does anybody else have anything they want to touch on again?
Yes, I just wanted to let everyone know that the Environmental Advisory Committee, they have a meeting that it's actually going to be a movie tonight at the Senior Center. It's going to be in two parts. The first part is this evening on the 17th. It goes from 6:30 to 9 p.m. It actually starts at 7 p.m. And there's a little bit of a question and answer afterwards. It's also going to be running again on the following week, on the next week on the 24th. That is as well. Again, it's about an hour and a half. Mark Hubner is running this. It's going to be at the Senior Center, and it's just regarding the environment, and it's a little bit of a question and afterwards if anyone is interested in attending tonight. It's the 17th at the Senior Center. And just remind everyone again, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I'm asking everyone to have your mom, your sister, your daughter, your best friend, everybody checked to make sure they're healthy, and keep wearing the pink this month to remind everybody.
Excellent. Thank you, Denise. Anybody else?
Good. I just have November's almost here, believe it or not, and we have our fall cleanup with the anti-litter committee on Saturday, November 2nd, right here at Town Hall. All are welcome to come and help keep Riverhead clean. It's from 9 to 11, and again, that's Saturday, November 2nd.
Bob?
No, I guess I would just add to what you said about the 19th. If you wanted to be involved in the coffin race, I'm going to ask Alec. Where do you go? Riverhead?
DowntownRiverhead.org.
DowntownRiverhead.org. Thank you.
Good. $500 to the first place winner in each category, too.
Yeah.
It's always such
pretty
a fun
interesting.
day.
That's amazing.
Yep. Okay. Under open session, we'll start with number 1. We have police matters surrounding the monthly report, July and August, with Chief Frost. Good morning. How you guys doing? How are you? Actually, I said July, August. This is actually September's report.
Yes, we did that last month. Again, this is our numbers. If you look on page 2 and 2 and 3. Actually, I'm sorry, 3 and 4. Those are where the 191 comes up. Obviously, a slight drop in the number of reported crimes. Obviously, the summertime, July and August are busier months for us. So our incidents are, similar. We're pretty much on pace for what the normal is with the drop after the summertime. Our biggest increase of the crimes from, is larceny. Petty larcenies in stores, commercial, retail is always growing. And that's just for, a lot of stores now if it's in the pet larceny range or just trespassing the individuals and not really even pursuing charges anymore because it's not really worth their effort at this point. So, you know, certain stores still do it, but you're seeing a larger portion just trespassing and, you know, telling the people to leave. So,
So of these 58 for the month of September, are those where the store owners have pressed charges, or
I
they're
can't,
just reports?
I don't have that information, to be honest. Those are just straight reports of larceny, you know, like with the various ones. We
That's
did-
sad.
Yeah, we do have actually probably in the last page, let's see. So if you go to page 7, let's see if it's on here. Oh, yeah, pet
Pet
larceny.
larceny, 12 of them for 606, which makes sense. That's in the
Yeah.
retail area.
Yep,
And that's also a result of bail reform. If people
Yes.
know that someone isn't even going to be held, regardless of how many other crimes they have pending,
correct,
they're not going to pursue the charges, right?
correct. Yep,
I noticed too, Chief, that criminal incidents did go up this month from 2023.
yeah, again, that's using the old reporting system.
Okay.
So you probably, like I said, the biggest, what you guys are gonna be looking for is 3 and 4. I think those are the better indicators because they're all being reported the same way now.
Okay.
So we had 213 in August compared to 191.
Okay.
You see on page 4. So those are the
Okay.
totals. Now, using this,
Okay.
they're gonna be more true from July, August, September to look at than last year because they're gonna be off.
All right.
Chief, I'm concerned, the car theft. So, I mean, there's a lot of cars being stolen, and this is in Riverhead.
I'd have to
I
get-
think there was 16 all total.
Well, the
Back to-
vehicle theft,
No, that's people, that's
none in
not.
September.
Oh,
breaking
okay,
into a
vehicle
car.
theft, somebody going in,
Yeah.
breaking into the
Yeah,
cars.
the
Where's that
vehicle.
happening? Do we know mostly? Is it at the,
Cars are,
Everywhere.
parking lots, residential areas. It's kind of, I don't want to jinx anything, but they've been lower as of recent. But we do have people coming from the 5 boroughs. They're in the car at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, just going around different neighborhoods and seeing who leaves there. You gotta lock your cars. That's the biggest thing. So, but it's not one concentrated area. Obviously, that would be great because we could put people there and, you know, probably knock that crime down. But it's just general all over. You know, you have people walk around neighborhoods. You gotta lock your stuff up. You know, I lock my cars. So, I know you guys. So fatals, drug overdoses. We had 1 non-fatal and 1 fatal. It was a 57-year-old male. The non-fatal was a 33-year-old male. And it's fentanyl-related overdose. And they were given Narcan. The non-fatal was by EMS and fire. The same for the fatal. It just wasn't able to revive him. I think that's pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions. Yeah, so like I said, moving forward, the 2023 numbers are going to be, you know, the criminal incidents are going to be off, you know. The total incidents should be, the top line should be good though. Those are all done the same way.
And the categories are different too, like, we're listed as a kidnapping in May. It wasn't a kidnapping, it was probably an unlawful imprisonment.
Yep.
But the new stats, that's how they kind of group it all together, so.
Yep. This is what the NIBRS reported that, you know, the state wants. So, yep,
Okay,
that's pretty much
very
it.
good. You'll be busy this weekend with the crew. I saw you last week walking Main Street again. Thank you.
No problem.
That's awesome that the chief of police goes out and does that. And downtown is very happy with the way things are going, so.
Yes.
Try my best. Is again, I'm here in the public forum. Just please call the police. We can't be everywhere. You know, we don't know, we don't see it ourselves. You know, please call. Obviously, you know, that please call us. We have to have the involvement with whoever the individual. Also, the weekend, Main Street's going to be shut down. I'm sure the VMS signs will go up for the Halloween activities, as well as Riverside Drive for the Ridley Run will be open for local traffic only, because that's the route they take, so just so the public knows.
Chief, I want to say thank you. At the country fair last weekend, there were several people that had incidents, and the police were all right on top of it, helping everyone that needed medical attention.
Yeah.
And the weekend before, at the Oktoberfest, that was very well attended, and a lot of police members were also out and about walking in Grangeville Park. Thank you. That's
No
great.
problem. Okay, anything else?
Thanks.
Nope.
No?
Hey, thanks.
All right.
Thank you, Chief.
Yep.
Justin is asking that we take our cell phones away from the microphones because they're getting some interference.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, next up, we have code enforcement matters surrounding the monthly report. Senior Investigator Richard Downs, come on up.
You're the next contestant. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
All right, everybody have their packet?
Yes.
We
Yes.
do?
All right, code enforcement. We opened up 87 new complaint investigations for the month of
Jesus.
September. This keeps going, it's,
Mhm.
you know. I won't go through all of them, but you can see I bullet pointed all the new ones that we opened up. I'll highlight the most prevalent ones. Dangerous conditions, we had 3. Overcrowded housing, we had 10. Residential no building permits, we had 18 for this month, which was up. We did a shopping cart sweep throughout all the major shopping centers for the wheel lock systems that they were supposed to get pursuant to the code last year. So we did 27 locations. So
Can you explain what that code is? Because I saw recently on social media where people were kind of laughing that we're trying to get a hold of the shopping cart incidents that are going around, and there really is a problem, and there is code.
yeah, so there's a Wi-Fi wheel locking system that they're required to have on premises to lock the cart if it goes off premises. And that was a code adoption we did. I think Councilman Kern can highlight that because he was involved with that one. So it stops the cart from leaving the property. Highway Department has had a big problem picking up these carts all over the place.
All over, just left
Yes.
randomly
So
in places.
they've been impounding them. We've been trying to hold the shopping plazas accountable for the carts. What we do is we'll write a ticket, we'll issue it to the shopping plaza, and they'll have to appear in court and pay some sort of fine because the cart left their property.
That's the new agenda on the agenda last night. That's the new code, increasing the fines. Costs the
Yeah.
highway department money to
It
put
does.
these things
Time-
up.
time and money to
It's
do
light
it.
all over the
Yep.
community, leaving them laying all over.
Yeah. So we're trying to, curb that by having all the shopping plazas have the wheel lock system. So they can't push them off their property, whoever might take the cart, so. Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
we did a sweep and we had 27 properties that did not put the wheel lock system in pursuant to the code, so we're working with those particular properties to get that done, okay?
Excellent, thank you.
We had 4 transient rentals and 1 unsafe building and structure. We have 155 cases still under investigation since January 1st. I know that sounds like a lot, but that includes the 87 new complaints that we got.
Well, you're picking up 87 in 1 month,
Right.
so.
Yeah.
And so we
That's
split it,
not
you
a lot.
split that between 5 officers too,
Right.
which is roughly 30 cases. So I'm not too concerned with that. When it gets over 300, then I'll be a little concerned.
It also means you're waiting on court time, right? To resolve stuff.
Correct, yes. Tickets, we issued approximately 60 summonses, 46 notice of violations for the month of September. And some of those infractions were no rental permits, no building permits, no COs, parking on a non-driveway within the front yard area, litter, commercial and residential, land clearing, no permits, importation, exportation of materials without permits or approvals, weeds, rubbish, site plan violations, unsafe building and structures, dangerous hazardous conditions, overcrowding, We had some shopping carts that we issued the tickets to, some establishments that didn't comply with the notice of violations. Accessory buildings, we had some property maintenance code violations that we issued tickets, and open excavations and zoning infractions.
Rich, I have one question on the litter commercial. I know we have a fine for littering, but we also have a fine for illegal dumping, which is a lot more.
Yeah, so one is under a different section of the town code. Solid waste is a section for dumping, and there's a litter section for under the town code, which had two different penalties.
So is this litter commercial, is that under the solid waste?
No, that's
Oh, it's
it's under the littering section of the town code.
Okay.
Yep. And those fines, I think, were increased last
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Yep. Rental properties. We have inspected approximately 119 residential type structures, 225 apartment units. We did the Peconic Crossings and Fairfield Apartments for the month of September. We've collected approximately $47,775 in rental fees for the month of September, and our total revenue year-to-date is $275,475 in rentals.
Very good.
And if the board needs any further clarification on the report, I have everything itemized. If you need it.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Sure, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome.
Next up, we have Town Clerk, matters surrounding the monthly report with Town Clerk James Wooten.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Quite a meeting last night.
Haven't seen you in a while.
I know.
Yeah, I know. Well, you got me lined up today. We've got like 7 public hearings for the 7th and a couple more, so we're working on that all morning, trying to get those things in the paper. It's been a pretty common month for September, nothing really overshadowing. The FOIA requests are still coming in hot and heavy, but correspondence is way down, thank God, that we're not handling, hundreds of letters anymore, which is good, though. But we do treat all the letters with respect and can log them in. There's really nothing major report, other than the fact that, we did have the resigning of our Spanish clerk. We found went on to a full-time job and doesn't have the time to do that. So we're gonna have to deal with that gap. I did work with personnel to get something on Indeed or whatever we're advertising on.
That will get the language line available to you also.
Yeah,
Right.
that'll be important, because I'll be honest with you, the price point we're paying it's just not gonna attract a lot of people, so we're hoping that we can find somebody young, or maybe a young mother, because the hours I'd like to give them is 11 to 2:30, which is perfect in the middle of the day if you have children in school, or if you're a school bus driver or something, you want to fit something in between your runs. So I'm trying to make it accommodating for somebody just to come in and help us with that, so. But we'll work on that, but we'll get by, so.
Is the position opening on our website?
I don't even know what, I tried to think of innovative ways to do it, and I was told by personnel that, we have to, they have to do everything, so, I don't want to step on tiptoes or tiptoe, or whatever it is, so. I'm not gonna do that, so, and she knows what we need, and she's gonna do that, so it's on Indeed now, and I think, I don't know where else they put it, to be honest with you. I am reaching out to some pastors I know in the Spanish churches to see if there's somebody there that might like
That's good.
to step up, so. And that's it, so, but, it's, we're moving right along. It's a busy office, and we've got good staff in there, so. Any questions or anything for me? I
No,
wish I had more to report, but, summer's coming, so.
status quo.
Winter's coming, so. The permits are there, hunting licenses are done, so, that's gonna change again come November. And they allow it out here for bow, so that's it. So,
Okay. Thank you very
did you,
much.
Mr. Raphael, anything good?
Everything's good, man.
You did a great job.
I'm looking in the past, I think we always would compare birth certificates and death certificates, our community is growing.
I
don't
would like to
see,
do, you know what,
you know,
I was thinking about this
like
the other day.
death permits.
I do every birth that happens in Peconic Bay. Now, granted, every birth in Peconic Bay, that doesn't reflect whether you're a Riverhead resident. I mean, you could be in a surrounding town. But I'm looking at the percentages coming in and I'm doing comparisons. And this school is in for a rude awakening 5 years from now. I got news for you with the amount of births we have and the ethnicity of it. It's going to be a rock, so I hope they're prepared for it. So I feel like I look at that all the time.
Do you get it from Riverside and Flanders too, or no? That's Southampton does the first.
Well, yeah, well, the births I get, I mean, yeah, some are from Flanders, some from Southold, some, it depends if they use Peconic Bay for their maternity ward. But I do know the ones that are in Riverhead as far as what looking at that school district, so. And those stats are pretty amazing. It's gonna happen in 5 years when they get to school age. Yeah, pretty crazy. But, so that's it. So I haven't presented those, not sure, but just to let you know.
Very good, sir.
Okay.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you. Next up, we have Justice Court matters surrounding the monthly report with Councilor CERU.
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Well, okay, so I don't know what version everyone has. I just sent an updated one because I missed out on some of the fines. So I'll just, in case.
At 4850, is that all? Are you told?
19,790 is the grand total. Probably a 14 something.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just.
Copy?
My
Thank you.
apologies, and then there's one other fix that that works.
Thank you.
That's even better.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but, so another fix that I just did is, if you see under blight mitigation, it says, 45 days jail. That's actually under, human services. And to explain that, as we know, the maximum amount of jail you can do on a violation is 15 days. With this particular individual, they were found guilty of 3, and they were, consecutive. So that's why it was 15 plus 15 plus 15. So that happens sometimes, so just so it's clear that it was a legal sentence.
You didn't put somebody for a shopping cart in 45 days.
No, not that I know of.
Not yet. Okay.
So everything else is pretty straightforward. I did parse out the surcharges, so now we can see, what percent, what fraction of the fines are surcharges that will go on those 3 individual accounts. And then, as we know, everything with an asterisk on it is what was issued as a default judgment. So these are just people that, or corporations that don't show up in court. They eventually get a default judgment. So that's all I have. Had a couple of parking trials, have a couple of trials coming up this month and next month, but fairly straightforward stuff this month.
Okay.
Very good.
Busy bee.
Questions?
Yeah.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Almost 20,000 fines, that's good.
Thanks, yeah. Let's hope they get paid.
Yes.
So any questions other than what we've discussed?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
thanks.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have planning, matters surrounding residents' change of zone application for 408 Middle Road, Riverhead. That will be with Greg Bergman. Good morning, Greg.
Morning. I do have Arthur Rast, he's the architect for the applicant here, we can answer any questions the board may have. So we've received a change of zone application. I'll be the first to say that we do not entertain a tremendous amount of change of zone applications. In 8 years I've been here, this is the first one that's actually come in. So this is a change of zone application seeking to rezone a property from Residence RC Retirement Community to Residence A40. The property is located at 408 Middle Road in Riverhead. It is surrounding the developments known as John Wesley Village, Saddle Lakes, Stoney Woods, and Sunken Pond Estates. This property is presently improved with a one-story single-family residence, which I took a couple of pictures of in the staff report, as well as a detached garage in the back. Now, I will acknowledge that this property owner did some illegal conversions to this detached garage and created 2 separate accessory apartments, which is not permitted under any version of our code, whether it's Residence RC or RA40. So they are currently in justice court processing through those violations. So they're seeking to change from the retirement RC community to Residence A40. Now, on page 2 of the staff report, there's 2 images. Essentially, when the town rezoned the north side of Middle Road, when they rezoned this large swath of land retirement community, unfortunately, when we take sort of a broad stroke approach to rezone a property, maybe there was some thought that maybe this piece of, it's about 1.4 acres, maybe there was some thought that this would be incorporated into some type of development when these communities were being developed. That's never panned out. So what they're seeking is a rezone to Residence A40, which is completely in keeping with the character of the surrounding area. On figure 2 on page 2 of the staff report, you can see the entire community directly to the east, Old Farm Road, Arrowhead Road, that's all zoned Residence A40. So I did run the question by the town attorney's office of whether or not this would sort of fall under a spot zoning category. I received a bunch of case law from Deputy Town Attorney Prudenti. Essentially, spot zoning is rezoning, a piece of land or an area of land that would directly benefit a property owner, typically to the detriment of the surrounding neighborhood. This is not the case. In fact, this would turn the technically pre-existing non-conforming single-family residence into a conforming use. It would allow the property owner to actually make an application to the building department, to the code enforcement, to create one legal accessory apartment, which would provide for opportunities for inspections, to ensure safety, ensure compliance with the town code. So this is kind of unique in that it's in no way seeking an intensification of any potential uses. It's really actually reducing the potential uses on the property. Pretty straightforward.
So is that what, he's looking for the change so he can have an accessory? Is that basically it?
That is correct, because
Okay.
currently in the Residence RC Retirement Community Zoning District,
Which doesn't allow.
an accessory apartment is not a permitted use. They cannot even make an application for it. So the Residence A40, the rezone, would allow them to actually make an application, would ensure safety, and would ensure that they would be compliant with the code.
Should we be considering these 2 properties here also?
So they haven't made applications to us
Okay.
yet. I can run that question by the town attorney's office. I don't know.
Because they're basically the same situation. It's 2 residential
Yeah.
homes in the same zoning area. And right across the street is all RA40.
Correct. Yeah, the entire surrounding neighborhood is
Right.
essentially RA40, aside from the retirement community villages.
Yeah, I think it's exactly what you said, when we'd use a broad brush to paint an area of a certain, with retirement community, we encapsulated a couple properties that probably shouldn't have been covered under that.
Yeah, so the application, and like I said, a lot of times people will come to the planning department, they'll ask about rezoning, and 99 times out of 100, it's to intensify the use, so they want to bring in some type of commercial use or some other use that's not permitted by zoning. This, like I said, is really essentially the opposite. They're seeking to essentially turn a pre-existing non-conforming single-family residence into a conforming use and allow them to make an application that conforms with the code.
Makes total sense to me.
But he hasn't paid the fines on the 2 accessories.
Correct. That's still pending through justice court.
It's kind of like we need to have this first before we can really get to that point.
Well,
I think you
actually, he
need to
could
pay
pay
your
the fines
fines
first. We're in unison. If you want to show good faith.
Yeah, I mean, that, not my bailiwick, but yeah, I mean, I would agree. I mean, getting a change of zone would not clear the slate. I mean, they've clearly violated the code. They've done, code enforcement, they've done inspections out there. It's verified. So, I mean, yeah, I would agree with that.
I would also say that when I first took on this project, we actually did, without me really realizing that the zoning didn't allow for it, I had submitted an application to building, and then I ended up getting denied. So, I mean, it's technically in process with building department, but then they basically had a hold because of the zoning. So essentially, if this does get changed in terms of the zoning, then we can kind of move forward with the whole process and ensure the homeowner's gonna be more than willing to do any kind of fines, whether it's the fines and the fees, it's sort of say with the accessory apartment and building permit application as well.
Don't you want to rectify your
Yes.
issues currently, so
Yeah.
if it is set up in the format where it is, you know, in violation, that it should be removed, fixed, restored, then cleared by the building department or the town justice court, and then you come in and then you file for rezoning? Basically, you're saying to us, you've already done all the work and now you want us to change the zone to match your work, is that right?
Well, now we have to go down to one accessory, they've got two.
Well,
Correct, they would only be allowed
But
one
right.
accessory apartment, one,
But I
you know,
agree with
there-
what you're
I
there's size
understand where you're coming
restrictions.
from. The way I'm trying to look at this is the fact that, yes, they did violate the code, they did this work without permits illegally and whatnot. But at the same time, there was also a significant amount of, you know, expense and material that was put into this and whatnot. And if there's a-
Illegally.
Well,
you know, to finish my point, though, if there's a way to have some kind of a compromise where, yes, they can at least rectify what they did, pay the fines, and still be able to have what they want, I think that's a reasonable compromise. I mean, granted, again, the code and the law is the law, but that's,
I mean, I think if the board's amenable, I mean, maybe we could, of course, you know, speak with the town attorney's office. Maybe they can clear up their case with justice court, whatever resolution they come to, before the town board can, you know, schedules a public hearing and really takes action on it. I think that would be a reasonable.
I'm fine with the way you presented it. I would also like to address what the supervisor said, you know, because this does conform with what is to the east. So to the property to the west of that, is it worth doing what the change of zone there so that it becomes RA 40? You know, so that it's consistent, so everything from there on to the east?
All right, I mean, I'll run that by, I mean,
You just take a look at that.
yeah, I mean,
because think
I
it's
wouldn't
a
have an
good
object,
plan.
you know, the comp plan does talk about looking at pre-existing non-conforming uses. These are pre-existing non-conforming uses, and again, sort
Not
of
the
that.
accessory dwelling, though. The house is
Is, right.
pre-existing non-conforming, the accessory dwelling is
Two of
not.
them,
It's
right.
still in violation.
Yes.
It was never permitted.
Correct. The principal use of the property in the single-family residence is a pre-existing non-conforming use.
the other thing I would just note with regards to all this is the fact of me being a registered architect, and I'm also a building safety inspector by New York State, is that any work that I'm working on in terms of trying to rectify all this stuff needs to meet the code and everything else. So it's not like, you know, even though they did do it without permits and whatnot, it's not like it's not going to be rectified in such a way that it doesn't meet code.
Well, it's not the code, that I don't think we're concerned about the standard of building codes. It's that they're profiting illegally, having two accessory dwellings on this property, and now they want us to allow them to continue having an accessory dwelling on the property, to continue making money.
I would prefer to see them clear up justice court first before we put this up for a public hearing. I don't have a problem with changing it, but I would prefer that the mistake is corrected and legalized before we move forward.
That's my position.
I think that's very reasonable. I will speak to the town attorney's office on that, as well as the rezone of some of the couple of 2 or 3 non-conforming uses on Middle Road, if we bring them into the RA 40 zoning as well.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
All right. Thank you. Pretty good.
Thank you, guys. Next up, we have Fire Marshal matters surrounding change to Chapter 231 regarding outdoor fires with Fire Marshal Keating and Fire Marshal Smith. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Great.
Good.
I'm gonna let Liam take this over. I just want to say we're working on kind of cleaning up our code. We've done other sections. This is one that kind of didn't make sense. It was hard for us to enforce it, and the way it was written, it could be a lot better. So Fire Marshal Keating did a lot of work on this to bring it up to where it needs to be, and it should be beneficial to everybody on the board.
Yeah, so we had a couple complaints recently as well through the police department, code enforcement, in reference to residential properties and bonfires. So we really wanted to kind of outline some pieces to really break down the structure for residential, commercial, town properties, and really make it clear what's permitted, what's not no permit required. And so we kind of went through the code that we had, and like Chief Smith said that it was a little ambiguous. It didn't really line up with what we were trying to do. So on the sheet you guys have, we basically just kind of worked through, strike through the original one, and then kind of went in line with a lot of the other municipalities around us with the original no person shall kindle or maintain or authorize a bonfire based on the New York State building codes, fire codes, and then the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Code. That's just the first section that is the catch-all for what the code should be if you're kindling a bonfire or a recreational fire or otherwise. Then we broke down into residential property. We wanted to make it clear that there is no permit required for somebody to have a recreational fire on your property, residential property. We wanted to make it very specific that that there's no bonfires allowed on private property. Those are for ceremonial religious purposes, specifically like the downtown event that we have. That would be a bonfire. It's a bigger, more ceremonial. Some of the games, for homecoming, stuff like that, that's a permitted piece, a bigger fire for those different events.
So this isn't for backyard fire pits that are
Yeah.
appropriate?
This will give you like the basic safety things of kindling that
Right.
fire, like 25 feet from a structure, things like that. So still gives us teeth if somebody has a backyard fire, but it's just not safe.
Right.
We get called to stuff, they're burning garbage, construction debris.
Leaves.
Yeah,
That kind of stuff's still not permitted, but this kind of outlines what you can and can't do.
Yeah, we've cited those before, but never really had it in the code to be able to show somebody that this is the requirements to it, so we wanted to outline that. So that's kind of the residential piece to it, and then we kind of broke down into commercial property. Commercial properties generally we don't allow, for the most part, to have bonfires or on a commercial property. It's something that we've discussed as an office, and we would be amenable to it if there was a permit behind it. It's something that we can do an inspection behind.
Right.
We can make sure they're doing it safely, so we added that as a piece into commercial properties this time. And then obviously any town of Riverhead properties, the downtown events, if people want to have bonfires, we'll just add a permit to that so we can do an inspection and ensure that it's being done safely. And then the B and C were the original pieces. It just gives the authority to the fire chief, fire marshals, state forest rangers, or any police department to be able to stop or suspend anybody from using a fire pit or a bonfire or any permit that was issued. And those are the other two last pieces. So,
What about fire department training?
That's covered under the state fire code. So we do have part of this says that is in compliance with state fire code. We generally don't have the fire departments get permits from us to do live fire scenarios.
and yeah, then the last page was just we wanted to create some very clear definitions behind recreational fire, which is your residential fires. Bonfires are for ceremonial religious. The burn permits we've been issuing for some time to the agricultural community. That will remain unchanged.
S'mores considered ceremonial?
It's cooking.
Cooking, yeah.
It's a tradition.
Well,
in our
as long as you're
town.
consuming those more, yeah, you're all good. And yeah, we just wanted to define what was unapproved combustibles, burning garbage, trash, any sort of items like that. So that's pretty much it.
Very good.
Any questions?
No, pretty straightforward, common sense.
Yeah, we're really just trying to clean up the code.
Yep,
Good work.
very good. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, last up, we have recreation matters surrounding 2024 statistics to date and possible changes to 2025 beach stickers with Ray Coyne and Ashley. How are ya?
Hello. Isn't it the best for the last, right?
Of course.
All the ones you want to get rid of pretty quick. Everybody need one? Have one?
I have.
Okay. I just changed the order of,
I have. Need them? I think you got them, second page.
Second that one.
okay. So I briefly want to just go over the statistics of the beach stickers where they're pretty much done. We do sell them here and there now, but for the most part they're done. But I'd like to start with some of the proposed changes that we discussed in the office. And kind of what we do in the office is we track all customer complaints. So we try to identify patterns in the complaints and see if there's any reoccurring complaints. And if we do get reoccurring or a lot, then we bring it up as a group and we brainstorm and look for solutions. And so we had a meeting last week on beach stickers, and here are some of the solutions that we had come with based off complaints and statistics. So first one would be the South Jamesport boat ramp. Right now, we sell daily stickers to non-residents. Now, this is the boat ramp that the state owned years and years ago. And if you were a New York State resident, you could use the ramp the same as a resident. I think it was $20 at the time. So since then, I think 4 or 5 years ago, we took over the ramp from the state. And so what we did for non-residents, we allowed them daily passes. Now, we received numerous complaints from I guess the boaters that go there more than once, that they prefer a seasonal sticker. They just don't want to come to our office several times if they want to change weekends, things like that. So based on all the complaints, we decided to come up with and propose to the board a seasonal boat sticker launch. So basically what we did this year is we sold 39 non-resident boat ramp stickers dailies. Revenue was $13.65. And we had 9 repeat customers that purchased on an average 2 to 4 passes. So what we want to do is sell one seasonal pass for the non-residents at $225. So that was our old rate, between $200 and $225. For non-resident passes, and I think it's a win-win for both, because that gentleman or that person that's buying the 2 to 4 passes would pay us $140. Now they have to pay $225, and they're happy because they don't have to come back several times.
What is the fee for the residents?
The residents, it's just what is it, 20?
It's 50 altogether because
Yeah.
they need a parking pass and a boat launch pass.
Okay.
And it has no effect on the beaches or anything like that, so we figured.
So a non-resident who wants to use just once for the summer is going to pay $225 also?
No, it would be seasonal. So they get a sticker for the season, and they can go as many times as they want.
Right, but I'm saying if I just want to use, I'm a non-resident, I just need to use it one time.
We'll still sell the dailies.
Okay.
We'll still sell them at $35, and then we'll give the option for the seasonal. Okay, so that's number one. So that's the
But
first
just if you
proposal.
do the math right, 35 per day, the guy that uses 2 to 4 times, and you said 9 of them are repeat customers, they use it 2 to 4 times, even using it 4 times, it's still cheaper to buy it individually than it is to pay the $225.
Yeah, but they're the ones who are complaining. They're saying, we don't want to keep coming here.
You're paying an extra more for
We
convenience.
want to go this weekend, but it rains, so we want to go next weekend, so it gets confusing.
makes
I
sense.
think those people will be happy with, hey, I'll give you the one time, we'll do the pass.
And they might just go once or twice. So.
Yeah.
Or if they decide on a Saturday, let's go out to,
Yeah, they can
the
only go
Pelican Bay
to
and
the
they
boat
can't
launch,
get-
the beach. They can only buy it at the beach during the season, and again, they're not open all the time except for the weekends,
Right.
and then during the week, and then coming to us during the hours. Then it rains, and they're like, what should I do? And we're like, it's also easier for us too to just say, here you go, do what you want.
Yeah, so we figure it's a win-win, a little bit more revenue for the town. It's not a big item, because again, 39 is not a lot in the bigger scheme of things. So
I
that's.
think more people will probably take advantage of it if they know they have this convenience. More people probably will
Yeah.
use it.
Yeah, that's our hope. Okay, the proposal number 2, hotel motel, our favorite. That is for the hotels, motels, or 2 or more dwelling units in the town that we sell to. They get a placard or what is it?
Hang tag.
Hang tag. I don't know what that. So we have not increased this rate. I said a decade plus. We haven't increased it since I've been here, and that's 18 years. We charge them right now $75 per unit. 2024, we sold 21 to 6 different hotel motels, so revenue of $1,500. So we'd like to start with proposing $100, so it's not a big hit on them, but continue to increase it over the years. And then our staff was also going to try to sell it to, bring it out to other hotels and motels in the area to increase our revenue. But also give them the option to use our beaches if you're coming here for the
I
week.
have a question on that, Ray. So you sold 21, so let's say a hotel buys 5, they can use those 5 all summer long,
Correct.
the whole season, so they could be paying $1. I mean, if 100 people use it, right?
Yeah, it's 75 now per unit. So,
Right. Yeah, but how do you know when you see, what's a unit, of room?
Yeah.
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 But how do you distinguish what room it is?
You don't, but they would only, whatever number they purchase, if they have, let's say they have a 20-room operation, they buy 5 passes, only 5 of their clients can go use the beach, the other 15 can't. So they're probably going to buy the full amount, so in case everybody wants to go, they can all go, and they advertise it as we have beach passes,
Right.
for to use our beaches.
But if you have 12 weeks times 5, that's my point. Or just take 10 weeks times 5, that's 50. So that's 5 people a week. What are they actually paying? I think 100 is generous.
Well, they were paying 75 per unit, so we figured we'd just increase it to 100. I'm sure other people that are in charge of these,
It's
and they're
$20
local.
a day,
Yeah.
what it comes out to if you use a
Yeah.
10-week month. That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
open if you want to charge more. I just figured it was at least get it going where we start increasing it because it has not been increased
Thank you
in
for
a long
finding
time.
that.
Yeah.
Bob, are you concerned that, like, they'll just keep reusing the same passes with those units over the summer? Like,
That's what-
Well,
maybe
they
they'll
do.
just hand the pass in at the beach when they go, the people at the
No,
hotel.
they're paying it for
They
the season,
recycle.
right?
Yeah.
No,
The
they're paying,
hotel is
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
this for the
Yeah,
season.
that's for the
back.
season is my
Yeah.
point. So,
Yeah, that is kind of low down.
but, so it ends up being $20 for a day pass, okay? Basically is what it ends up. And so I think 100, I mean, you guys, I think it's really fair.
I think you just want to be careful with, if you go too high, then we're not going to get any of the revenue.
Understood.
Because they could just say, well, you're going to come to this hotel anyway. Don't go to the beach for all we care.
Are they putting a surcharge on the bill for the guest?
Not supposed to.
I don't think so.
But I don't think they do.
They probably have.
We have the same customers, it's the local.
Everything's built into their payments, I'm
Yeah.
sure, but I think it's important that we run this past the East Creek Committee and also the Beach and, the Beach Committee also.
We had our beach
both.
committee.
Yeah, we had the beach
Okay.
committee
meeting.
last night.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's good that we had it, because the next proposal is something that one of the members had an issue with, and we agreed we're going to talk more about it. They said we can go ahead and move forward with it, but it was just the rules and regulations, and it's good to have a committee like that, because we're proposing our rules and how we're going to bring this out, but they have their own solutions as well. So I'll jump to that now. It's a resident guest pass. So the largest complaint we get, and this has been going on for years, and it's a very hard one to decipher and how to have a solution for these people. So guest passes for visiting family members. So for example, and there's several examples, but the number one we get is kids visiting their parents that are residents, and they have their own kids. They come with their own van with car seats, and they want to spend the day at the beach, and vice versa. If the grandparents are coming into town to visit the kids, so that's an issue right there. Or a babysitter wants to bring the kids to the beach. So again, we brought it to the staff because that's a huge thing that we get every year. And then I think it was Jordan too that had come up with this one. I thought it was a great idea, and the staff was all over it. So we can offer every resident one guest pass.
In-house.
Yeah, for a household, one pass per household per year. We charge them $225. Again, that's the non-resident rate that we're using. And there'd be rules to it. Residents would have to fill out an application and be approved by our department. And this is the biggest thing: no replacement stickers will be issued. That will help prevent fraud. And people say, "Oh, I lost it." That's it. You're getting one, and that's it for the year. It'll be a hang tag, and it'll be linked to each resident's account. They all have their accounts in our system. One of the members of the committee, we brought this to the committee yesterday, from the Reeves area. They weren't happy about it, but they're willing to talk about it. So the first solution we came up with the beach committee was, okay, since, Reeves is a rather small parking lot, 33 spaces, and they sell out here and there, we bring it to the larger beaches, Iron Pier, South Jamesport, because they never go over 50% capacity in the parking lot. So that member of the committee was happy with that, but we also said, if the town board is in favor of it, we'll go ahead and move forward, but in our next meeting, we'll sit with the committee and we'll go over everything. If they want to add rules to it, what they'd like to see on it. So that's where we're at now. But I want to know what the town board thinks about that.
I just want to bring one other thing.
Sure.
I thought that it was important to have something for, we have swimming lessons, and there's a lot of families that have a babysitter that bring the kids to swimming lessons, and they can't use their car to take them if they're not a resident.
Well, if you're a non-resident who takes swimming lessons, we provide a pass for people to
No, but
bring.
I mean for the babysitter, like I was
Yeah.
saying at the meeting,
Yeah.
that,
So we would
my
probably
daughter
issue
was
the
a
same
nanny
thing
and
for
couldn't
them.
take her car over in
Yeah.
Southampton.
Yeah.
And then they'd have to juggle the car seats, and we were talking at the committee meeting yesterday about, that's kind of a dangerous thing to keep shifting car seats around, because if you don't install it back properly, if somebody doesn't have the knowledge to do it, that's a safety issue.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we do have to come up with something, and I'm glad that you guys have been working on
I mean,
this.
anything for our programs that are held at the beach we'll provide. So if someone did come to us with that situation, we would give them a placard or a hang tag that said, like, let's say your swim lesson was from 10 to 11, we'd give you some wiggle room, 9:30, whatever, to 11:30, only these days. So that nanny could get
Right.
a pass for that.
See,
this
I like that.
Yeah.
Instead of giving every resident an extra pass, because there was discussion how, it can get out of control.
Yeah, I just feel like it's also a courtesy to our residents. I mean, many of you have kids or grandkids. I know, like, if my parents are watching my kids, it's easier to be like, yeah, go to our beach. You're at our house. You're watching my kids at my house in Wading River. Here, just put the tag on, go to our beach right there. Something for them to do. And then a lot of these kids coming back from wherever they live used to live here. So it's like a courtesy for them. And it's only one per house. We'd be very strict with it. And it's a way to make more income, and it's for the residents, really, because they're the ones complaining, and then it turns into a situation where it becomes a special situation, and we're like, okay, we can give you like a special event because whatever you're here for. Now you have an option.
And there's
Fine.
consistency.
Yeah.
So will this not be permitted at Wading River Beach?
That was
I
what,
don't know if
originally we
it's
discussed it
that
for all 4 beaches with the beach committee. The member of the Reeves had an issue, and so our solution, all right, for year 1, we'll eliminate the smaller beaches, and you can get 10 to 2 larger beaches.
My question comes down to in Wading River specifically, that's a small parking lot that is regularly filled on weekends.
35, yeah.
And we're fighting with a whole slew of Airbnbs along Creek Road.
Yeah.
All of them will pick one of these ones up, and then they'll fill the parking lot with non-residents that are renting those Airbnbs illegally, and it would be detrimental to the people that live in Wading River that simply want to go there and be able to park. So, with 35 spots or so, like you say, in
35
there,
at Wading River,
and you probably got a dozen at least illegal Airbnbs operating, they'll purchase them right away. And
Yeah.
so there goes the parking lot. That's my concern.
Yeah, I think if you limit it
It's fair.
to Iron Pier
Right.
and to South Jamesport Beach, then they have a choice of, if they're bay people, some people prefer to bay over the Sound, and vice versa.
Yeah.
You have the Sound available at Iron Pier, and those are the 2 larger parks. And I know Bob has said he's going down like the South Jamesport, and you just mentioned it before, where it's only 50% capacity on a nice hot day.
Yeah, we actually have the
So-
statistics in the following
Yeah.
pages, and none of the larger beaches, the small beaches, like Councilman said, Wading River and Reeves, there'll be weekends where it's over 100% full.
Right.
Right.
But the South Jamesport Iron Pier never hits above 60%. So we figured that would be, and they're 100 spots, 101 for South Jamesport, 100 Iron Pier, so there'd be plenty of spots to do that.
So
The
is
only-
this, oh, I'm sorry.
The only issue I have with this is the use of placards, because it's an enforcement nightmare. And the cops come through and, you know, you buy your beach sticker and it goes on the rear window of the car or whatever window you tell them it's on.
Yeah.
They come through the parking lot, they're actually now gonna have to get out. And if there's a car that doesn't have the sticker, and now they're checking to see if there's a placard, it slows them down in terms of
Yeah.
being able to enforce the violation. So that was just a concern I had with
You want me
that.
to speak to the chief then and see what he thinks about it?
Well, I was wondering if there was any way we could do a sticker or an add-on sticker for that type of enforcement, that way.
We probably can, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, one of the most common problems we see with the beach parking violations are that, you know, someone gets a tag for some reason, I don't
Usually
know
special
why they get a
events,
tag.
yeah.
But what do you actually consider a special event? Is there like a criteria for that? Because that's another problem that we run into.
Yeah, I mean, each case is different. You know, sometimes it's some, a resident that's having a party that you cannot allow parking on the street, so we'll give them some special event passes for the parking lot.
Okay.
So things like
Sometimes for beach cleanups too. Usually we'll try to notify the police, but that kind of gets confusing too for them. So if we can give them a thing that says, oh, these 6 cars are cleaning the beach, we're not going to make them pay for something. They're doing something helpful for us, so we give them a hand
Okay.
tag.
Because I think what we should probably do, because I think doing this resident add-on is going to require a code amendment because of the way that the code is currently structured, with non-residents being prohibited from parking at the beaches. So we should probably review the portion of the code and create some criteria for the special event passes.
Okay.
And then also include something about this, if the town board is so inclined, to add this like resident add-on. And then we should talk to the chief, because I've always sort of been opposed to the hangers, because what happens is someone will come into court and they'll say, oh, I did, it must have fallen off, or I forgot to put it up.
Or a
And-
Jeep with the
yeah,
top
and
removed, or a
it's-
convertible with the top down, they
Right.
get ripped off and.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
And-
sure you see it a lot in the court.
And, or they come in and they say our TCO or a police officer must not have seen it. And the TCOs and the police officers walk around the entire vehicle, okay? If there's a hanging thing there, they're gonna see it. So you get into this proof, sort of, problem that I really want to sort of eliminate to the extent that we can, so that when Victoria goes to prosecute these things, our TCOs and our police officers aren't getting sort of thrown under the bus on this, because
Yeah,
it's
that's fair.
it's not really fair to them. So I mean, I've always sort of thought maybe they just get like a big, huge, like laminated thing that they just put in the dashboard, and that's what it is. And it's not going to fall off. They're not going to forget to put it there, because it's just like huge. I don't know.
We
That's
used
just
to
one
do
idea.
that, and the unfortunate thing was they were duplicated by people. People were very creative with it, and that's why we went to hang tags.
Okay.
But for this particular sticker, we can actually provide them with well, no, we couldn't, because they'd be transferable. That's another thing
Yeah.
too. So we'd have to make it a hang
Can
tag.
you use a window cling? So it has to go on, when you see window clings, you put them on the inside of the car window, and they'll cling to the glass. So it'll be right right where you would normally put a beach sticker. But the only problem is when you have tinted windows, you're not gonna see it.
This is why going forward with the electronics, with parking in the future is really needed.
We love that idea. Eventually, we want to get gates for the parking lot at the
Yeah.
beaches.
Just
and
get scanned.
license plates.
You'll have it in
Other
the computer
townships are doing it.
Yep.
It is, on our end, we've been trying this for years, and I was very happy the town is looking into that. So what I can do is, like I said, we can order the hang tags. We actually found another way to purchase hang tags at a lot cheaper price through Amazon, so we can always order them at the last minute. for the resident guest passes. And what I would recommend is we meet with the beach committee, get everything that they want in this proposal, and then bring it back to the board, and see if that's something the board would want to approve. If that's
I'm
okay.
also the liaison for East Creek.
Okay.
So I can arrange a meeting with them also, because the supervisor had mentioned.
Yeah,
We're
set to meet with them soon, actually. It's only 3 members now, but we're set to meet with them. We usually meet at the end of the season, which is November. So, yeah,
You
definitely.
could almost do a combined meeting with both of them to discuss this item.
Oh, that's a
I'd say
good
that's a
idea.
better idea,
Yeah.
actually, get them all done
All
at
right.
once, yeah. Okay.
Do you see limiting it to, like, let's just say 200 for the season as a trial, or do you just see, I mean, what if 1,000 people could?
I just don't know. I mean, I don't know how big
But
it
the
will
demand?
be.
Yeah, I
we don't really
understand.
know that yet. But also, we wanted to make it super strict so that if it's my pass for my home, like on that pass somewhere or in the thing is my name, so if you are using mine and you do something messed up, that's my problem now. So it's going to that homeowner or the person, like I'm responsible for whatever he's doing at the beach.
Eric,
It's not
don't
just
use
willy-nilly.
it.
Yeah,
and
don't use
to
it.
Councilman Rothwell's point, I think that maybe with the add-on, maybe we put into the code that there's also a referral to code enforcement, and they check, our code enforcement history, and if they have transient rental violations in the past, maybe that's something that gets denied. And then, or we include something that makes it revocable if we do get that sort of complaint that relates back to the property owner.
Yeah, we're open to
Yeah.
How many
anything.
can each property owner purchase right now? Is there a limit?
We don't
It's
have.
by car.
Oh,
Yeah, but I
you
mean, if
mean
you've
their
got a
own sticker?
family of 6 and 6 cars, you can buy 6.
Yeah, we
So
we
there's
actually
no-
sell the beach sticker to the car itself, to the car registration.
The car's registered.
Well, why
to
couldn't
the
you
car.
do that with, let's say that a resident knows that their family is coming for the weekend or a week. Why can't the resident come in, request to have a pass for them, get a copy of the car's registration so that you have it on file, give them a permit with that license plate number on it?
That's an option too.
You know what, that's a good, I think that's, in addition to this, I think that's a really good idea, because if you have somebody coming in for 2 weeks, right? So let's just say I do, if they do it under my name with their license plate, right? And and they get a beach pass for 2 weeks, they're gonna leave, I mean, but then you got a sticker instead of a hand
Right.
tag, that people don't want
And then it
stickers
just
all over the car.
becomes, we just see it with all the types that we have right
Yeah.
now, and then you add that to the police, and then it's just more,
Yeah, yeah.
instead you can get the flat too, maybe they only
Yes.
have one guest come.
You're still gonna
once.
have the Airbnbs when you fill out and you rent your house illegally in town of Riverhead and you give them your license plate from New Jersey. Whoever's running the Airbnb is gonna come into, your department and go, here, I need passes for that day. I still think you're gonna encounter
But
that.
they would,
But
We
when
only
you
get
bring-
one per household, so.
Yeah.
If we put in something that makes it revocable.
And you limit the beaches that
and
they
then
can't
we-
use
and then
Wading
we
River
revoke
Beach.
the
Or Reed's.
residence.
I
They'd
can
have to
make
go to
it
the
if
larger
it's really
beaches.
I
limiting
would
the beach,
suggest
but
reaching
thank
out to Southold Town because they do something very similar to this,
Okay.
and check with them and see how they do it. Because I know if you're a resident of Southold Town, you're allowed to have a pass if you have a relative coming out to visit with you.
Okay, that's exactly
They have a
what-
program where they allow that relative to use, so see if they might make it easier if they have something that's tried
Okay.
and true already.
So what we'll do, we'll start with that.
Yeah.
And then we'll have
Definitely with the
the
committees.
beach committee meeting,
Yep.
and then soon after, we'll set it up for the work session, and we'll provide the feedback, and we can go from
Yeah,
there.
and get it
That
going,
works.
because I know it takes you a while to get these stickers in.
Yeah, that's what we're
so-
now. So,
yeah.
but the hang tags, like I said,
Yeah.
we can order them later, too, so.
If it amounts to hang tags, the only thing I would request is that on the tag itself, it lists the locations that this is
Yeah.
permissible.
Yeah, we do
This is
that.
only
That's-
permitted at A,
Correct.
B, and C.
Yep.
And it is not, doesn't just say beach pass, because then that'll be another problem in court. They'll be like,
No, that-
nobody told me I couldn't come here.
Ray brought that up at the meeting yesterday, actually.
And we customize them like ourselves, so we can type whatever your last name or your street or whatever, so you know that that's that person's. So if the police do see it, they can see.
Yeah.
this goes, or it's a number that goes to you, we can go straight to you, because it's
You just
actually
don't
your
want a
problem, not the
thief
person.
seeing that your car's
And
in
then
the
when-
with your
when-
address, and they go and rob
When
your
they
house.
make an application for these, we can create some kind of form that sets forth all the rules of use.
Yeah.
That they, review, sign in this
Yeah,
way.
we talked about
if we
similar to the
create-
4x4 that we
Yeah,
have, yeah.
this way, if we do create some sort of revocation process, we have something on paper that they signed and were aware
Right.
of and understood the rules before they were issued the permit.
Yeah, that's fair, that's fair. Okay, all
Sounds
right,
good.
so we have a plan for that. So the next couple of pages is just speech statistics. The packet that I originally gave to you guys, go to the third page, because I noticed this in the beach committee meeting yesterday, the percentages confuse people, so I'd rather just give you the numbers itself. So you'll see the beach stickers 2024 versus 2023 with the actual numbers, not percentage, and it should be page 3 for you guys. I switched it with you, Ashley, it's page 2. So I'll go over it quickly, just go over the results. I'm not gonna go through each line for you. So this is the 2024 beach stickers through the first week of October. 2023 is on the bottom portion of it, 2024 is the top portion of it. We increased the rate for all the beach stickers by $5 in 2024. So that resulted in, we had an 8% increase in the total amount of beach stickers sold, which is about 739 actual stickers. And the good part is 41% increase in the total revenue, which equates to $63,650. We saw a 9% jump in residents and a 7% jump in seniors, because those are
That
the
more
two
than
main
covered the loss from non-resident
Correct.
individual day passes.
Yeah, that was a little bit under 50,000, this
Yep.
was 63. So making the price change, and again, the only group that had issues with the price change were the seniors, which we expected, because we were increasing it, we were doubling it in a sense for them, but now they've been through it, we should have smooth sailing from here on in. And then the next 4 pages are what we do with the beaches now is we track the amount of the attendance through cars. So how many cars are in the parking lot at what hour. So the first beach that I have in the graph is South Jamesport. South Jamesport has 102 spots. What we look for is patterns. So in this particular case, there wasn't really anything that stood out with South Jamesport. Obviously, the highest average were on the weekends, and this is average daily. So that was a question that came up yesterday. So we put all the data into one average per day. So 23.7% were the average on Saturdays, and 23.56 were the average on Sundays. If you look at the right-hand side, this identifies peak days, so where the parking lots were full the most. So in South Jamesport, you can see in July, most obvious, 7/14 through 7/16, it hit the 67% mark, close to 70%. 7/28, it hit just below 60%. So those are our high days, so we'll look to that.
Ray, when you say that there's 102 spots at South Jamesport, does that include the marina parking?
No, that's separate. Yeah. So the next page would be Iron Pier. And same thing. Iron Pier has 102 spots? No, actually 100 on the nose. And so with Iron Pier, what stood out more were the times. So Saturday and Sundays were obviously the largest, but between 3 and 5 p.m. we saw the highest spike. But again, nothing went over 60% with Iron Pier. So we had our peak days, but there wasn't anything that stood out. So I didn't even put that on here. I just put the daily average. The next 2 pages are the smaller beaches. So the first one is Reeves, which has 36 spots. What stood out were Saturday and Sundays between 3 and 5. On an average, hit to 62% to 75%. Sundays were the better days at Reeves. And you can see that we discussed before the block of dates where we really hit high end of the parking lot. So that's good for us to know to manage the parking lots and the traffic, especially at Reeves. So between July 3rd through July 9th, we hit over 100% on many of the days, up to 125% of the parking lot. So they're parking on the sides, other places. You saw again a spike in mid-July and a spike at the end of July. In August, there was only one weekend, August, that was high. The rest, I didn't put it in the graph. It's just back to normal with August. You see the stats drop big time in August. So it's just patterns that we're looking at. We go by the daily average by hour. You can see which hours. So sometimes, like for instance, on those peak days, maybe we'll add a second beach attendant. Just to make sure the customers are getting through the parking lot. There's no arguments. There's a lot of issues over at Reeves.
Well, the main, just another point with Reeves is I know that there's a lot of, seem to always people want to protect Reeves as far as the parking goes, but that's really what is being utilized there is just the parking lot. It's probably the least used beach itself because everybody parks there. And I only know this from the beach attendants and the beach manager going around. If we can't staff something, we'll usually unstaff Reeves first because nobody's really in the beach area. They park there and then go east and west and go to their private locations. So it's just for that parking lot.
Just on a side note, Ashley runs the beaches, and since she's taken over, last 5 years we had absolutely no health violations. Health department comes twice a year, zero. So her and her staff do a wonderful job at the beaches, and with the committee, we've got nothing but compliments this year. It was a very, very good year at the beaches, so we're happy about that.
They're very happy, the beach committee.
They're a very good committee. They really are.
What do you notice about Wading River happening at that beach?
Okay, Wading River is the last one. So, what stood out, I guess, is between Sundays actually is a higher day at Wading River, and the PM hours between 3 and 5 p.m. are the higher ends, the percentages of the parking lot. That could be for La Plage too, coming there, eating dinner, going there. We also see, we don't track after 5 o'clock, but there's a surge at night, people watching the sunset. The peak days at Wading River, you can see that there's a lot. I added June in for Wading River because they do see over 50% in June. June's usually a very slow month for us unless it's really hot. You saw July 21 through 23, it hit the a little bit over 80% mark. So it is crowded on those particular days. Reeves is up and down, but weekends it tends to be very crowded.
How many spots do you have at Wading River Beach?
Wading River, we have 33.
Is that including
35, I'm sorry.
Is that including the overflow parking lot?
No, 35 in the main parking lot. So it's just, yeah, again, we do these statistics to see if patterns, anything stands out, how we manage the beaches, how we staff the beaches, and it's good to see the changes and all that. So that's it for the beach stickers.
Hey, with parking at Reading River Beach, the overflow lot, we have a contract with La Plage. They pay.
Yes.
Is that money from La Plage going into the recreation budget?
I don't
So
have
you
any
don't-
control of that, no.
You don't see anything coming into your department for
No.
the renting out of those spaces?
No.
We know if that contract's ever been renewed? Or-
I know there was talks about 3 years ago, I believe it was renewed. I don't know if the attorney's office, I don't know who handles it, to be honest with you.
They were dealing with it this year. I don't know what the final outcome was, but I know they were meeting with them.
Okay.
No, if out of your budget is coming for the maintenance of those parking lots and the cleaning of those parking lots, then I honestly think that the money from that should be going into your budget.
I'll never complain if you want to give us more money.
I just think, they're walking in, they're cleaning, and I know there's been times you've had crews down there picking up debris and everything around the parking lot, so you're doing the job. It should.
We can have Jeanette research that and figure out where that money's going.
Is that our lot? Do we lease that from La Plage, or
No.
do they lease it from us?
They lease
They
it
lease
from
it
us.
from us.
And beach goers can use that? Or
Yeah.
not? They
Yeah,
can.
they can. There
How
are
many
actually
spots are in
spots
there?
marked out.
Right.
How many do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head. That's, do you
For
know?
beach attendants, we usually just have track the
The main
main ones
parking
so that
lot,
they're
yeah.
not leaving the station.
I can tell you, I have had two people just complain, they've gotten tickets, apparently there's a sign that says, beach parking, but you can barely read it, and it's covered by, fauna, bushes, and they're like, I didn't even see there was a sign there, so you can't
We
park
do
there.
have to replace them almost every year over there. believe it or
Yeah,
not.
and they've got to be really clear. It's two different people, and I said, I don't, I'm
Yeah.
not, I don't know what to, got to tell them in court. I said, you need to take a picture of it and bring
Yeah.
that to court so they can see what you didn't see.
Yeah, that's good to know. Okay, if there's no questions, we have some homework to do with the proposal of resident guest pass. I assume that the town is okay with the first two proposals? The town board's okay with that?
I'm fine with
Yes.
both of them.
Okay,
Just touch base with Southhold and
Yep.
see, because like I said, I know they have a program they've been using, so.
okay, we'll
check
be on
and see
that,
If it would fit here.
and we'll come see you next month and to the committee meetings.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all we have for open session today. In a moment, I'll close, and we'll go into executive session to discuss contractual matters surrounding contractual agreement with the PBA, and that's with myself. And we have matters surrounding possible lease of town property with Thomas and Hurley. So can I have a motion to close open session and go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, open session is closed. We will now be retiring to executive session to discuss those items. Everybody have a wonderful weekend, and thank you very much.